Hey guys, Horror Lorekeeper here. Today we're going to pick apart something that sounds simple on the surface, but gets way darker when you trace it through the rest of the Five Nights story. We're talking about the darkest theory behind Vanessa's role in the FNAF 2 movie. We're gonna look at how she shows up, what she looks like and acts like, how the story could position her, and then we'll get into the big picture theories that tie her to Afton, glitch trap style control, and even the idea of her being the one who actually carries the franchise's evil into the future. So sit back, relax, and let's dive back into the world of FNAF. First, we need to park this in the right corner of the universe. The first FNAF movie set up a world where Freddy Fazbear's Pizza is a real, haunted place. William Afton is real, and Vanessa is the conflicted daughter who helped cover it up. A FNAF 2 movie, at least the way fans imagine it, almost has to go one of two directions. Either we go backward to the heyday of the pizzeria with more murdered kids and more animatronics, or we go forward into a world where the cover-up is crumbling and someone has to keep Fazbear's secrets buried. Vanessa fits in both timelines. She's the bridge character. She's the person who knows way too much. So picture this, a slightly expanded Fazbear environment, more rooms, more storage, maybe an underground parts and service corridor that was never on the blueprints. Flickering fluorescent lights, long hallways that used to be for birthday parties but now feel like maintenance tunnels. That's the stage Vanessa walks back onto. Before we talk theories, we need to actually see her.
Starting to think maybe you fell asleep on the job. Please, her name's Vanessa.
In the first movie, she wore the sheriff's deputy look, neat, controlled, very I'm trustworthy, I'm local law enforcement. In a FNAF 2 movie version of Vanessa, we can imagine that look carried forward but off. We can see a uniform that's still official but a little more worn, like she's been working nights she wasn't supposed to. We notice the hair pulled back tighter, expression softer but tired, and when the camera gets close, there's that expressionless but unsettling quality, like someone who's constantly managing guilt. Maybe she's swapped to darker tones, maybe she keeps her badge but doesn't flash it as much. She could be carrying a flashlight and a binder, props that signal I'm investigating, but also, I have a list of things we're not telling people. Lanky and human, not an animatronic, but framed like one, appearing in doorways, lit from below, watching. So when would we actually encounter her? Easy, she shows up right around the time the mystery starts getting too close to the truth. In a FNAF 2 movie setup, the main character, and whether it's Mike again or a new night guard, starts piecing together that there were more kids, more locations, and more cover-ups than anyone said. That's the trigger. Vanessa appears to help, to warn, to say, you shouldn't be here after dark, or that room is off limits, corporate stuff. On the surface, she's an ally encounter. You run into her in the hallway instead of Freddy, but she's actually a behavioral animatronic. She activates when the story advances. The threat isn't a jump scare, it's information control. She can redirect security, she can tell the guard to log off, she can grant or deny access. In gameplay terms, she's the human equivalent of a security bot, spotted by her, and now the rest of the building is aware of you. And if we take it further, Vanessa can have phases the same way an animatronic does. Early phase Vanessa, helpful, sympathetic, I didn't choose my father. Mid-phase Vanessa, defensive, telling you to drop it, reminding you, these kids have families who don't need this dragged back up.
He was taken. You just have to know how to look.
Your brother. You think you saw who took him?
Late game Vanessa. Fully aligned with the thing in the walls, either the lingering will of William Afton or whatever digital echo of him this continuity wants to use. At that point, she doesn't just block you, she enables the animatronics. She's the one who turns power back on in the wrong wing, or unlocks a service door that lets a mangled Freddy variant reach you. She's the human door opener. Shop. Now let's hook this into the wider FNAF story, because this is where it gets creepy. In the first movie, Vanessa is revealed to be Afton's daughter. Forced, manipulated, raised inside a lie. That already tells us this universe is comfortable with the idea that human beings can be made complicit in Fazbear's horrors. So if a second movie brings her back, it seems likely that she's not just there to apologize for Dad. She's there because somebody needs to continue the cover-up after Afton is gone. And we all know Afton never really stays gone. It has been theorized in the games, in the books, in fan reading. GS, that Afton's influence survives through code, through remnant, through recordings, through people who were groomed. A FNAF 2 movie could very easily pull from that and say, Vanessa is the relay. She's the one person who knows where the bodies are literally and metaphorically buried, and she was close enough to Afton that bits of his programming, not computer programming, but abuse programming, live in her. The canon in the movies is still pretty open-ended, so we can't say this is officially what Scott meant, but the most accepted reading would be, Vanessa covers things up because she was made to and she never really found a way out. That's a perfect launchpad for a darker theory, so let's walk through how a FNAF 2 movie could actually play out with that in mind.
You need to drop this.
Let it go. Abby?
We start with the setup. The pizzeria has either reopened in some limited capacity or is being investigated because of the events of the first film. Our protagonist is given a night shift, probably told, don't worry, they're all off, it's just for insurance. Classic FNAF bait. He starts noticing old files, extra security tapes, things that point back to missing children who never made the news. Before we move on, Vanessa shows up. She says something like, you don't have to dig through that, the sheriff already cleared it, and she sounds believable because we already know her. We trust her voice from movie 1. Exploration phase. The guard ignores her, goes deeper. We tour the building with him. We can see retrofitted party rooms. We notice a closed off parts and service. We notice a bulletin board with kids' drawings half torn down.
Have you met them yet? Prepare to have your mind blown. The best thing you've seen in your entire life?
Every time the guard goes somewhere hot, somewhere tied to the disappearances, Vanessa just happens to be nearby. That's not coincidence, that's surveillance. Rising danger. Animatronics start activating. Maybe we get the toy lineup equivalent in the movie. Brighter, more plastic-looking versions that are supposed to be safe, but they move wrong. One of them corners the guard and then stops like it's waiting for permission. That's where Vanessa becomes terrifying. She can either call them off or not. The horror is that she doesn't always call them off. Sometimes she watches. Sometimes she says, you weren't supposed to see this. That's the shift from ally to threat. Final confrontation. By the time we get to late game, we've probably uncovered that William Afton didn't just kill kids, he left behind instructions, maybe tapes. Maybe schematics for reusing parts. Maybe a protocol for if authorities investigate, erase X. And Vanessa is the executor of that protocol. She might even be in a hidden control room, lit by cold monitors, walls covered in Fazbear documentation, running door locks, shutting off cameras, talking to the guard over the PA like the puppeteer. She's not the slasher, she's the dispatcher. And if the movie wants to go really dark, it could imply that she's doing this because Afton promised her something, that if she keeps the secret, he'll come back, or he'll forgive her, or he won't hurt her anymore. That's classic FNAF manipulation. With all of that out of the way, this brings us to the final and perhaps most important part. So what does this all mean for Vanessa's role? The likeliest dark theory is this: Vanessa is the inheritor of Afton's will, not in the sense that she wants to kill kids herself, but in the sense that she's the last person standing who will actively preserve his crimes. Afton in this continuity can be dead, burnt, gone. The suit is destroyed, the restaurant is closed, but evil doesn't need him if someone protects the infrastructure he built. Vanessa knows the victims, she knows the animatronics are possessed, and she still keeps it quiet. That makes her scarier than a Freddy jump scare because the animatronics are just haunted machines. Vanessa is a haunted conscience. It seems likely that the movie would use her to show how abuse and secrecy get passed down. Afton hurt kids, but he also hurt her, and now she's keeping the cycle alive. She is the human version of a corrupted file. There's also a Glitch Trap adjacent reading that fits nicely. In the games, Glitch Trap is this digital echo of Afton that can latch onto new hosts. Translate that to a movie and you get Afton may have left behind recordings, code, or even hypnosis-like phrases that can wake up Vanessa. So those moments when she goes from kind to cold, that's not mood, that's activation. Maybe certain rooms, certain audio logs, certain smells in the parts and service area trigger the old programming. That would explain why she's sympathetic 1 minute and covering up murder the next. Fans could point to little cues, a music box starting, a Fazbear training tape playing. and say, that's when Afton took the wheel. It has been theorized in the community that Vanessa Vanny in other continuities is literally puppeted by a digital Afton. A FNAF 2 movie could take the soft version of that and keep it grounded. Now for an alternative fan reading, because there's always one. Some people are going to want Vanessa to be trying to fix it. In that version, she's not preserving Afton's crimes because she believes in them. She's trying to stop a worse outcome. Maybe Fazbear Entertainment is reopening. Maybe there are new kids coming in. Maybe Vanessa is covering up the past because if the truth gets out, the company will shred everything, including the animatronics, and the souls inside will never be freed. So she stonewalls the guard not out of malice, but because she thinks there's a chance to undo what her father did and she needs to keep the building intact long enough. That would make her a tragic antagonist, not a villain. The canon is vague enough that either works, but the darkest version is still the first one. Vanessa is not corrupted by a suit, she's corrupted by loyalty. What's confirmed in movie, based on the first film's direction, is Vanessa is Afton's daughter. She knew about the kids, she helped cover it up. What's inferred by fans for a sequel is she continues to cover it up, possibly under lingering influence, and she becomes the main human obstacle to the protagonist discovering the full Fazbear Massacre timeline. Everything about her uniform, her access, her timing points to her being the person the company or Afton trusted most with secrets. And that's a really sinister place to leave her, because animatronics can be destroyed, burned, scrapped in parts and service. But a person carrying the secret, a person who thinks keeping Dad's secret is the only way to be loved, that's harder to stop. Vanessa becomes the quiet slasher, not with knives, but with silence. Alright, that's gonna do it for this breakdown of the darkest theory behind Vanessa's role in a FNAF 2 movie. If you enjoyed this breakdown, remember to leave a like, comment down below with what you want to see next, and of course subscribe to Horror Lorekeeper for more FNAF and horror content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.